Welcome to the Worst Sports Channel on YouTube, Hot Garbage Sports with me, Coach Ryan D. Hey, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Hey, you can do anything, celebrate whatever you want to do. Now, the best part about the holidays, Team Canada World Junior Hockey, one of the most exciting tournaments in hockey. It's personally my favorite. I think this thing is awesome. And we're going to cover Team Canada here. Team Canada is just an absolute freight train of a team this year. They're definitely going to have some competition from the Russians, the Swedes, the Finns, and the Americans, but it's always Canada's tournament to lose. And I'm sorry to my American friends on here until you take over, and you will one day. Don't get it twisted, Canada. Every time America gets their claws into something, especially sports-wise, they do end up dominating eventually. But for now, this is still Canada's game, still Canada's sport, especially when it comes to the World Juniors, and they are the favorite to win it on home ice. Here is your preview. Here are the players to watch for. Here are the lineups to talk about based on the exhibition game against Russia last night, and a couple news and notes to get you ready over the holidays for December 26th and the opening game for Canada and the World Juniors as a whole. Let's get after it. If you're new to Hot Garbage Sports, smash subscribe, smash like, join us on our way to 5,000 subscribers. Whether you're a fan of Canada, America, Russia, Sweden, or Finland, this is one of the best hockey channels on YouTube. We'd love to have you here. Big thumbs up for Coach Ryan D. Okay, couple things to note about Team Canada here. Let's go ahead and bring up the projected roster as we go, and we'll start with the goaltenders. Dylan Garland, this is now his tournament. It hasn't been announced. Coaches always wait. Dave Cameron's going to wait, but this is Garland's tournament. The way he played against Russia last night, it will be Dylan Garland as the starter, which is shocking because Sebastian Cossa, I mean, he's a 6'7" monster. That doesn't mean Garland's going to be the better goalie in the long term in the NHL, because 6'7" is hard to ignore. Guys like Ben Bishop, Andre Vasilevsky, these monsters in net take up a lot of room. But this tournament today, it is Dylan Garland. And we got to remember that when we talk about these players. We're talking about the tournament today, not the future tomorrow. Taking a look at the defense. If you didn't know it, now you do know. They do not have a right shot defenseman out of all 8 of these defensemen. They're all left-sided defensemen. Why? Well, Dave Cameron, when he's picking defensemen, especially at a tournament like this and in the juniors, what makes juniors different than the pros? In the pros, everybody's good. Even your fourth liners are amazing. You got to remember, there's players that will play on this team that will never play in the NHL. That's how hard it is to get to the NHL. There's players on this team that will bust out from the NHL, and you got to look at Team Canada. Every player on Team Canada has been drafted or will be drafted. Many first round, second round, third round picks on this team, mostly first rounds, to be frank. Team Canada is loaded, but there will always be busts. So just because you're a good junior player does not mean it translates to the NHL. But back to defensemen. When you're picking defensemen for a junior tournament, you're picking on talent. And the biggest indicator of talent for defensemen is first going to be their skating, then it's going to be their puck handling, then it's going to be their shooting. Decision making is a big part of it, but there's really no dumb defensemen when it comes to Team Canada, Team USA, or any of the big teams out there. So you can imagine most of them understand how to play the fundamentals of defense. That means that for Canada this year, there were no right shot defensemen that Dave Cameron felt were in the realm of talent as these 8. He says these 8 are the best defensemen. We're going with them because they're the best skaters, they're the best shooters, they're the best puck handlers. And the key for defense on Canada is being able to move the puck north to south up to those forwards who are incredibly talented. Now, who's the best player in this tournament right now? It's Owen Power. He was 101 for a reason. We're going to talk about McTavish and everybody else, Connor Bedard, all the amazing players in this tournament. But today, right now, Owen Power is the best player in this tournament. He's one of the best skating defensemen we've ever seen. I broke down a video of him as a prospect up here if you want to go ahead and take a look at more Owen Power and what makes him special. He's one of the biggest men on the ice. He's got one of the best shots. He definitely has one of, if not the highest IQ on the ice. Owen Power is an excellent pass-first player who will move it up to forwards, but he takes space when it's required. So Power is the #1 driver of this Team Canada engine from the back end. I think he's the best player on Team Canada, bar down this year right now. His other partner, Kaiden Guhle. Kaiden Guhle is a fantastic player. He's playing in the top 4 because you need them to play their organic left side. He doesn't end up pairing them together. He being Dave Cameron moves Guhle down into the 3rd position or the 2nd pairing They're going to get near equal ice time between pair 1 and pair 2. The top 4 defensemen for Canada are going to be asked to log a lot of big minutes. Zellweger and Cormier, they're no slouches themselves. They're very good players. They're going to partner well with Guhle and Power. They're going to be a nice addition to it, but this is all about watching Guhle and Power. You want to watch a really interesting young guy up here. We all know that there's only 3 returning players to this tournament: Garland, Perfetti, and Guhle. So they always have to have players ready to return the next year. So we know Bedard and Wright are going to for sure return next year, but Carson Lambos, who's now playing on the right side, who is an organic left side defenseman, will be returning to this tournament as a 19-year-old next year, and I suspect he will have an A or a C on his jersey. You got to watch this guy closely. He's not an underager, but he's 18, and there's not a ton of 18-year-olds that make this tournament, just like there's not a lot of 17-year-olds or 16-year-olds. You got to be a phenom to play at 16, 17, or 18, and Lambos is a phenom. He's the best skating defenseman on this team. He's a better skater than Owen Power. I know I said Owen Power is the best defenseman back here, and he is right now. Long-term prospect, I've said it many times, I got Lambos over Power, but right now Power is the guy that's going to drive the Team Canada engine. But keep your eye on Carson Lambos because he's going to return next year. He's going to be one of the better players. He's got an absolutely wicked shot. I'm going to say I think he may have the best wrist shot, snapshot combination on the back end right now. And he is going to play in the top 6, meaning he's going to log 15 to 18 minutes likely in this game. It'll be interesting to see if he ends up nudging himself up. I don't suspect he will, but Lambos was projected to actually be a 101 or 102 before an injury derailed him and he fell to the 123. So Minnesota got a massive bargain. The Jets passed up, missed a great player in him. Carson Lambos is going to be somebody to watch in this tournament. He's someone that's going to climb up. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about the forwards. The best forward on the ice is Mason McTavish. We said it in our preview video, links above if you want to go back and see it. Mason McTavish is the best forward on the ice right now. He's NHL ready. I'm surprised he's not playing for the Ducks, but with how good the Ducks are and how young the Ducks are, it makes sense. Mason McTavish can and should be playing in the NHL right now. So we have an NHL caliber player playing up front. He has absolutely filthy hands. Let's take a look. All right, so we take a quick look here as Perfetti carries the puck in for the first goal for Team Canada. He ends up dropping down to Kent Johnson, who ends up moving it over to the D. Quick shot on net, and Mason McTavish is there to bang it in. The hands of Mason McTavish are just fantastic. When we take a look at what he does in front of the net, he's not just a goal scorer, but he's a guy who's willing to stand in front and get dirty goals. That is such a nice goal by McTavish. But McTavish isn't just a goal scorer. He's a beautiful passer. He feeds his buddy Ken Johnson. Look at this sauce. Woo-hoo! In the back of the net. You have no chance. You cannot defend that. If a man can sauce that puck over a stick that way, it crosses the Royal Road. It's in the back of the net. Johnson hammers it home. The combination of McTavish and Johnson. You got to watch these two. They're the best two up front for Team Canada. I'm sorry, Cole Perfetti. They are just electric, and they are going to be asked to log massive minutes all over the ice on the power play, maybe even on the penalty kill, 5-on-5. These are the two that are going to drive everything up front. McTavish isn't done though. Look at these hands. He just, oh my God, this is filthy. It's absolutely filthy. What a call. I mean, you watch this kid drag it backhand, forehand, walk around below the goal line, and he ends up putting it in against, oh my goodness, what a goal. If that doesn't sell you on how unbelievable Mason McTavish is, I don't know what will. This is the number one guy on Team Canada right now. Then we can't forget about Cole Perfetti. Cole Perfetti comes in as number 2, number 3 up there as a forward. Perfetti is an amazing playmaker. He's going to be an amazing NHL player. And it says a lot because Cole Perfetti was asked to carry Connor Bedard. We got to talk about Bedard, the 16-year-old phenom. He starts as the 13th forward on the team. He's not going to end that way. No chance. Coach Dave Cameron has got to get better at playing without the puck before he gets more 5-on-5 time. And what was interesting is when Connor McDavid played as a 16-year-old in this tournament, he said he didn't feel like he belonged. The young man is really in deep water right now. This is uncharted territory. The young man has never been the 13th forward. The young man has never been anything but a top 3 forward. The young man has never been anything but a power play specialist, getting all the ice time and minutes he wants. And now he's asked to play a role. So what does the coach do with Connor Bedard? He puts him out with Shane Wright and Cole Perfetti. It is a very telling sign when you put a guy like Cole Perfetti with the young guy, because that's what they used to do with Jonathan Toews back in the World Juniors as well as the Olympics. When you're the guy the coach taps on the back of the shoulder to say, hey, Perfetti, you got to watch out for this kid. This is the guy I trust to put out with Connor Bedard to make sure not only that Bedard can succeed, but that he has a leader that can help him get to where he needs to go. Perfetti does it. He feeds Bedard for an absolutely beautiful goal. Let's check it out. You'll see right here, Cole Perfetti, really nice move, moves it over to Bedard, couple little moves, puts it in short side. Connor Bedard, this is a 16-year-old kid. He could play at this tournament for almost 5 years. Bedard is a special talent. Bedard is right up there with the Matthews and the McDavids of the world. Take this to the bank. This guy is one of the best players to ever come out of hockey. He is that good. He is going to crawl his way up this lineup. It's just the way it happens. I don't suspect he's going to make his way into the top 3. I suspect Shane Wright, Cole Perfetti, Kent Johnson, and Mason McTavish, those 4 are going to have a stranglehold on the top 6. The 2 line mates that are going to play with them are going to be playmakers and guys that are responsible defensively. Bedard may make his way into the 4th line, or heck, maybe he'll even get some time with a guy like Ridley Greig. But Connor Bedard is an absolutely special talent. Don't expect to see a ton of him from this tournament, but he will play, and he will play for the next 2 years for Team Canada. Then you'll never see him again because he's going to be in the NHL ASAP, and they will not release him back. Shane Wright had another really good time as well. Bedard wore the bubble. Shane Wright wore the cage. Wright's a 17-year-old phenom, likely the 101. Bedard, likely the 101. This team is stacked. It is looking amazing. Go Canada, go. Hopefully that gives you an awesome preview of what to be excited for, the way this team is looking. So when you go into that day 1 game, you don't have as many questions as you would have had going in blind. Thanks, everybody. This has been Coach Ryan D. We'll catch you in the next one.